and by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. With paint, stain, wallpaper, and decorating ideas, Sherwin-Williams can help you create all the looks you've imagined.
And by DuPont Corian, used in commercial and residential applications worldwide, including new applications like furniture, lighting, and architectural details. Corian, looking beyond the surface for ways to express your design and performance needs.
Made possible by Hartco Quality Wood Flooring Company, makers of Pattern Plus 5000 and other sliced cut hardwood flooring products.
Hi, I'm Mitchell McDaniel, and welcome to today's Classic Homes and our new conservatory. We just completed it a few weeks ago, and I tell you, this is one of my favorite places here at Harlow House, and it's everybody else's favorite as well. But they haven't seen the plans to remodel our 60-year-old kitchen. You know, when it comes to classic home renovation, the first rule is to always restore as much as the original structure as possible. And it seems that, well, kitchens are an exception to that rule. Old appliances and cabinets may be quaint, but they simply can't compete with their modern-day counterparts, and that's just the beginning. Today, we'll show you how we bring our kitchen into the 21st century. We'll also take you on a day trip to the Vanderbilt's Little Cottage in Newport, Rhode Island, designed by legendary architect Richard Morris Hunt. Marble House is a summer home so opulent that even in 1888, it reportedly cost $11 million to build. Believe me, this is one home tour you do not want to miss. So stay with us. We'll get started when we return. Kitchens, whether you're building a new one, remodeling, or restoring an old one, offer some of the greatest challenges to any interior designer and builder today. And during the turn of the century, when the Beaux-Arts style of architecture was in its heyday, the kitchens were large functioning areas, large workspaces, very utilitarian in form, void of any of the architectural details and modern conveniences that we associate with kitchens today. They were a cook's kitchen, and off to the kitchen they had large, cavernous pantries with rows and rows of cupboards for the storage of china, linen, and silver for entertaining. And in most cases, the families never had a need to come into the kitchen. Servants catered to their every need. But boy, the times certainly have changed. Now, over the years, we've lost the look or the fabric of the original kitchen. So we need to ask ourselves then, do we want to restore it to its original look? Well, take into consideration what we're doing in the rest of the home. We are maintaining the architectural integrity of the home itself and preserving those elements of this particular style. But when it comes to the kitchen, today's lifestyle demands convenience, style, and comfort. So our goal is to redesign this space using materials that are sympathetic to the style, but still providing our homeowners with all the modern conveniences. Basically creating a kitchen that is both efficient and architecturally pleasing to the eye. Now, we won't need to go beyond the envelope of the walls that have already been established for us. And here again, we can see how the golden triangle still works. Our sink is over here with our dishwasher. Behind me is our stovetop, and the refrigerator and the ovens on this wall. So today, the kitchen still functions very well. One of our biggest concerns in redesigning the kitchen was our existing cabinetry. It's very well built, so we thought about keeping it, but possibly stripping it so that we could stain it to give a much warmer feel to the kitchen. When we started doing that, we realized it was a very costly proposition, and then what we ended up with, rather than a painted box, was a large stained box with very little decorative features, so we decided to apply that money toward the purchase of some new cabinetry. Now, our countertops are some of the original solid surface material that was introduced into the 70s, and there's really nothing wrong with it. It could possibly be restored, but it didn't really go with the new decor that was selected for this kitchen. Along with those changes, we'll bring in new appliances and upgrade our plumbing fixtures. One of the most interesting features of this kitchen that we're going to keep is this nice covered wall. It provides a lot of storage for the homeowners and great access by this old rolling ladder. We also wanted to take advantage of this large area in the center of our kitchen, incorporate an island, possibly some chairs so that our homeowners can have a breakfast, maybe a quick lunch coming in from the beach. Also, we have this space over here in the corner. We're going to design a message center with a little desk. So we know we wanted to create a new look for our kitchen, but exactly what's out there today? Well, a few weeks ago, we took a tour of a kitchen design center with our decorator, Mandy Culpepper. Take a look.
Well, Mitch and Mandy, we've been out to the house, we've taken some measurements and come up with a preliminary design.
Well,
Good.
that's great. I'm anxious to see that.
Me too. I hope we haven't changed too much from the original layout.
No, we kept the layout pretty close to the way it was because of the plumbing and the electrical that was already in place.
Good.
We did, however, feel like it would be a good idea to put an island in that kitchen.
That's
Oh,
a good
really?
idea.
Give,
Like this one?
similar to this one, but we've got a lot more room so we can make it much larger.
Good, because we need a place to sit and have a sandwich or a Coke or something.
Yeah, I can't see them sitting down for breakfast in that large dining room.
No.
No, the kitchen
No.
I think would be a little bit easier place for
Right.
them to enjoy their life.
Good. Well, we'd like to see some different finishes and wood species, profiles.
Okay.
Can you show us
Well, this
that?
particular vignette we're in is a traditional raised panel door.
That's pretty.
Traditional overlay, so
Yeah.
it's a style that's been around for a long time. Fully concealed hinges, so you don't see them from the outside. Easy care interior.
like
So
that.
it's
That's
a
nice.
very easy cabinet to
Yeah.
take care of.
And you said it's hickory.
This is a hickory.
Right.
It's a pickled hickory, which is
Right.
a very Florida, very beachy feel.
Right.
A lot of people around the beaches like to.
It's pretty.
You know we're at the beach, but what do you think?
I think we need something a little more traditional.
Well, there's several options we can choose from.
I did see a neat plate rack that I liked a lot. That's very old world, and the beaded board and the pierced valance at the top.
Oh, I like that.
That's really old world.
Well, it adds a nice touch to the kitchen,
Right.
and we can do this with several different options of cabinetry.
I like the glass doors, too.
Yes, that's pretty. We can
And we've
maybe
got
do
that
that.
huge wall. What is
Right.
it, 12-foot ceilings?
Right.
We've got a whole wall 8 feet high.
Right. So maybe we can incorporate some glass. And I like how you've put these wooden panels over the dishwasher.
Well, the panel kits, most appliances nowadays will accept panel kits from the manufacturers.
That's good.
So we
Maybe
have
we
that
can
built
do
in.
that.
Yeah, I think something a little bit more toned down, don't you think?
Right. Maybe you can show us something that has a little more old world feeling. Do you have
Okay,
another
sure.
choice?
Right over here.
Okay.
What do y'all think about this cabinet style here?
Very rich.
I like this. I
And
really.
if this is not a door style that you think you might like, here's a raised panel door style. This is called an Avondale. It's got a mitered corners. The mitering of the corners gives you more detail ability
really
in the door
pretty.
itself. So
This is cherry as well.
this is cherry as well. This is the nutmeg color.
So you think this dark is going to work for us?
That's what I was just going to check. I think it might be pretty with our finishes that we've selected in there.
Okay, you got your wallpaper and the tile.
Right, this is the floor. I like this a lot because it pulls that formalness from the dining room into the kitchen, which I think we need to repeat.
Well, what about our height?
Well, you s-
as far as doing some trim and accents there.
You've got 12-foot ceilings there,
Right.
so we're going to bring the cabinets all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to use a heavy crown molding treatment at the top, which is a two-step crown with a double rope molding added to it.
That's nice.
Okay, so we're adding the same treatment here that's on these
Right.
guys. I like that.
I like to repeat that. That's
That
lovely.
is real nice. And well, what about our tops, though? Are we going to use marble or possibly tile?
Well, right now there's the existing solid surface that's been there since the 70s.
Right. Well, the solid surface has come a long way since the 70s.
Yeah,
Back then, it was
yeah.
a choice of, I think, 2 colors.
Uh-huh.
There's a multitude of colors now that we've got to choose from. It's almost like a rainbow.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice.
Maybe one of these might work well with our finishes.
You think something
Yeah.
that sort of looks like a beach sand?
That's nice. The good thing about solid surfaces, it's easy to maintain, isn't it?
Well, it's easy to maintain, it's very durable, and it's very clean.
And you can do a variety of edge mold treatments on it?
We've got an
Yeah.
edge style board back here, and
Oh, I
it gives you
see.
some
Yeah.
ideas of the different edge treatments you can do.
That's a nice profile. Just something simple but easy to clean. That's nice. I really like
Well,
that.
you're going to have to make that decision, you know, with the homeowners.
Right.
But you can select this color and this style, and you're going to use these kind of treatments.
Right. It looks great with our finishes.
Well, everything else then, you two will have to work on. I guess the ball's back in your court, right?
Okay, well, we'll take the design we've got and tweak it a little bit and come up with something that's livable.
Later, Mike was able to show us the completed design with our new cabinets using computerized cabinet software. A great way to get a sense of the design and cost before you buy it. Back at the job site, we first began preparing the kitchen for our new cabinets by removing the old units. All right, Paul, I got it loose here. Let's pull it that way. Good. We got it. Move that out of the way there. Well, we had an opportunity to make our selection of our kitchen cabinetry, so the next thing was to start with the demolition, and we've got that well underway. We've got a lot of work here to do, so why don't you go ahead and take a look at a wonderful Beaux-Arts mansion we had an opportunity to visit, and we'll get finished with our demolition. Paul, you ready? Pull this thing out. See if we can get it out from that way there. Considered the Dean of American Architecture, Richard Morris Hunt was the first American architect to study at the prestigious École des Beaux-Arts in Paris. In 1888, Hunt was commissioned by William Vanderbilt to build a summer cottage for his wife's 39th birthday. Alva Vanderbilt was herself an avid student of classical French architecture and a former patron of Hunt's. The result of their collaboration was Marble House, a breathtaking example of the Beaux-Arts style of architecture in America and an enduring symbol of the wealth and taste that marked the Gilded Age.
What one should retain about the design conception, therefore, of the Marble House in Newport is that it is Versailles recombined in the creative mind of both Mrs. Vanderbilt and her architect, Richard Morris Hunt. The Marble House is very much Versailles improved, picking out motifs again that were thought to be the most significant in the mind of a 19th century patron like Mrs. Vanderbilt.
Marble House was completed in 1892 at a reported cost of $11 million, setting a new benchmark for opulence in Newport society. The shimmering white marble facade and towering portico, however, are just a prelude to the interior spaces in Marble House. The Italian marble grand staircase in the entrance hall is a fitting introduction to the architectural detail found throughout Marble House. A wonderful wrought iron and bronze railing with its gilt bronze trophies are compliments of legendary high society decorator Jules Allard. Allard's work can be found throughout the house, culminating in the Grand Salon. Christened the Gold Room, the salon at Marble House is the epitome of what is implied by the term Gilded Age. A variety of gold-gilt surfaces, mirrors, and lights combine to form an elaborate and striking jewel box effect. The carved wood gold leaf panels and the marble fireplace featuring built-in bronze statuary are all from Allard's studio. At the center of the mantel is an ingenious glass globe that tells the current month, day, and hour. The twin chandeliers, like all fixtures at Marble House, are fitted for both gas and electricity. A wonderful 18th century painting of Minerva, luring a youth away from idleness, provides a centerpiece for the elaborately decorated ceiling. In stark contrast to the Gold Room is the Gothic Room, an expression of Alva Vanderbilt's professed love for all things medieval. Recently restored, the Gothic Room features a remarkable fireplace mantel, intricately carved out of limestone. The stained glass windows and silk wall covering seem to explode in rich color, contrasting beautifully with the light blue ceiling. The ceiling itself is a masterful example of 19th century craftsmanship, using staff, stucco, and plaster to simulate carved stone. The dining room at Marble House reverts back to classical French architecture and features walls of striking pink Algerian marble. The chairs are original and were designed by Allard from silk, velvet, and gold mesh. Two original 17th century paintings dominate the room. One, depicting a young Louis XV, survives with its original presentation frame intact. Grand entertaining requires grand service, and the large basement kitchen at Marble House shows the scale of that service. Then state-of-the-art, the kitchen features an immense 25-foot-long coal-burning stove and the full complement of accessories of the period. The tile work, the light colors, the soapstone sink all point to the desire for hygiene, a major preoccupation in late 19th century life.
Marble House acts really as perhaps the paradigm. It is the most innovative in terms of recombining very well documented period, yet it goes beyond that and ensures a new sense of monumentality on an American scale. Monumentality, yet with a sense of compactness and a sense of efficiency and comfort.
Back at Harlow House, the kitchen demolition has been completed and installation has begun in our new cabinets. The custom cabinetry is shipped and installed in sections. One by one, each section is set and then pre-drilled for fasteners. Keeping the cabinets level is critical. Wooden shims help make up for any variation in the floor. Once leveled, the units are then secured to each other and the wall. After the cabinet installation has been completed, work begins in our new solid surface countertop. Using heavy cardboard, the installer begins by creating a template that will be used at the shop for fabrication. The cardboard is cut to reflect all the unique dimensions and features of our countertop, including the location of our new sink. Once all the pieces are glued together, the template is taken to the shop for fabrication. Let's take a look at the fabrication process.
Now here's the sink we're going to use for the kitchen. It's a new model, has a very large bowl in this area.
That's nice.
It's 2 inches deeper than your standard sink.
Everybody wants a deeper sink in their kitchen, don't
Yes, they do. And here we have a drip edge.
Okay.
And up here is where typically you'll mount the faucet.
That's nice. Now this flat area, I guess, is designed so this
Yes,
will mount
this flat
underneath.
area, and we're getting ready to do that now. It mounts in this countertop right here.
Now, this is our kitchen countertop. This was the template or the pattern,
This is the
right?
pattern here.
You've already got your hole roughed out?
Yeah, here we have the sink cut out, and these blocks, they mount the sink upside down to hold it in place.
Oh, okay.
And we're getting ready to do that right now.
Good. Let's take a look at that.
Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to clean both products with denatured alcohol. Since this is an acrylic product, we're also using an acrylic adhesive to mount the sink with.
Now, what's your setup time on this?
It takes 45 minutes for the glue to dry. Next, we're going to place the sink underneath the countertop and clamp it in place till the glue dries.
So once the sink's curing, what's next?
Is to put the edge on the island top. He's going to use a carbide tip beading bit, and then they'll have just a little bit of light sanding and they'll be finished with it.
So this matches the same profile as we saw in the wet bar area?
Yes, the same as the wet bar, and then the kitchen and the windowsills all have the same profile. Now that the sink is cured, we're ready to route it using a carbide tip bit and a neoprene bearing so it doesn't mar the sink area. We're going to cut away the excess countertop, and he's going to finish the edge with a sander, and it'll be ready to install.
Randy, these tops are looking great. You guys are doing a
Yeah,
fantastic
they came
job.
out really well.
I like this little bump out. It gives this sink area some nice depth.
Yeah, and remember this, the sink's 10 inches deep. It's
Yeah.
2 inches deeper than a standard sink.
Uh-huh.
And did y'all make allowances for the plumbing?
Yes, we did. Well, as a matter of fact, our rough end is coming up out of the floor, but I know what you're talking about. Normal sinks, actually the bottom of the sink would be in the way of the P-trap, so you need to lower that
Yeah,
rough
make sure
end
it's low enough.
coming out of the wall an extra 2 or 3 inches
That's
possibly.
right.
Yeah. Well, we did that. We're all right. Now here we've got our backsplash going in and the sill material.
Right, but before we install that, we need to make sure that countertop is fastened to the cabinets.
Well, how do you anchor solid surface material?
I've got a top right here I can show you. We use 1-inch MDO, medium density overlay board.
Okay, well, how do you fasten it to the solid
We glue it
surface?
directly to the bottom of the top with silicone.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Well, why is it flush then?
Well, we need to make sure it's flush so it doesn't interfere with the drawers when they pull out.
Okay, yeah, these are a nice tight fit, and then you anchor them the way you would any other countertop?
Yeah, just like any other top, you run the screws right through the bottom of the cabinet.
Right into the MDO.
That's right.
Good fit. Now, what about these tops here? I know you didn't bring this piece out and one whole unit, did you?
As with any large marble, granite, or laminate top, it'll have to have a drop seam in it.
Yeah, well, those are pretty evident, but I don't see any here.
Well, the nice thing about solid surface is the seam is very inconspicuous.
Well, you'd have to point it out to me because I don't see it at all.
Well, I can show you how we did it. We have one. Would you like to see?
Sure.
Yeah, the first thing he does, Mitch, is he's going to glue these wood blocks down on each side of the seam so he can draw it together and get a dry fit before he puts the glue in. Once he dry fits the countertop, he's going to mix up this two-part epoxy, and then he's going to open up the joint, apply the glue to the joint, and in 45 minutes it'll be dry. He'll be able to sand and finish the top. Once the glue is dry, he'll remove the excess and then start the sanding procedure. To get the desired finish, it'll take 4 stages of sanding. He'll do one final inspection to make sure the job is complete.
Of course, the job is by no means complete once all the countertops are installed. There's still a host of trades that are needed to complete the job, from painters to wallpaper hangers. The cabinetry had to be trimmed out, hardware installed, doors and drawers adjusted. The range and microwave needed to be installed, hooked up, and tested. The electricians had to complete the trim out on the receptacles, switches, and install the lighting fixtures. And the plumbers had to complete their installation of the faucets, garbage disposals, and drain lines. Once all these trades were out of the way, it was time to turn our attention to our new tile floor. Well, Brian, you're coming right along in here.
That's right.
Wow, I like these little knee pads you got. Those are great.
Yeah, it's a new invention. It's definitely worth it.
Is that right? How much do they run?
It was about $60.
Wow, that's worth for the saving the knees, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, look, you guys come a long way in here. You know, one of the things that concerned us about this kitchen floor is it had a couple layers of vinyl tile on it. We got off as much as we could. And you can see over here in this area, what we had to leave was the old vinyl tile that was original to the house. I mean, we tried like everything to get this stuff up, and we couldn't do it. It's down so well now. So what you're setting this tile with, is this underlayment here going to create any problems?
No, we're using a modified thin set, and that allows for you to go over such of a floor as this.
And you can go over wood with that as well then, right?
That's correct. And you know, as long as you get those loose spots up or those areas that are weak, you're fine.
Okay, good. So this isn't really going to be a problem for us. Now, of course, we're using some 16 by 16 tile here. It seems like tiles are getting larger and larger.
That's right. It makes the room look bigger.
It does.
And as you notice, this tile right here has a grain to it.
Okay, I notice it. Yeah, I notice it running like this.
And so what we're doing here is we're going to lay it on a switch of the pattern.
Oh, okay.
Make it a little bit of a design to the floor.
Add a little character and texture to it.
That's right.
Now, of course, after you've got all this set, I notice you got some areas here that still need to be cut in, right?
That's right. When this dries, we're going to go ahead and set up our wet saw and do the cuts. And notice you have a lot of notches in these cabinets. So
Yeah, tile cutters and setter's nightmare, isn't it?
That's right.
Now, what about the backing on this? Is this going to adhere well, you know, with a mat system like this?
That's right. With this 3/8 notch trowel, we're allowed to get into that grid pattern and adhere very well to the floor.
And so in larger tiles like this, you need to make sure it has a pretty good grid pattern, right?
That's right.
For some substantial adhesion. Well, great. Next thing to do after this is all set, then you'll be grouting.
That's right.
We'll be moving in our appliances.
Sounds good.
All that was left was the installation of our major appliances, and our new kitchen would be complete. Wow, doesn't our kitchen look fantastic now that it's completed? I tell you, kitchens probably undergo the greatest transformation when you're restoring, remodeling, or renovating an old home. And this one certainly has. But to appreciate it now, you need to remember what we had to work with. Coming into this project, we had these old dingy yellowed cabinets, plastic laminate tops, a terrible looking vinyl floor, and the appliances were practically falling out of the walls. But now take a look at it. We've incorporated some beautiful cherry cabinetry, and it has interesting details, and it's details that make all the difference. Details like the crown molding, leaded glass, and panel doors are design elements that help us maintain a classical feel in our new kitchen, even though its technology is state-of-the-art. The fact is, very few homeowners would want to live and work in a turn-of-the-century kitchen, no matter how quaint they may appear. Over the decades, new technology has affected kitchen design more than any other room in the house. The challenge in classic home renovation is to find a design that can incorporate modern appliances and surfaces and yet maintain a sense of the original structure. In many ways, modern kitchens have returned to the days when the hearth was the center of the house. It has become a room not only to cook in, but also to eat, talk, and entertain in. And you know, the homeowners haven't even seen the kitchen yet, but I guarantee you they're going to spend a lot more time here than they thought they would. I know I would if it was just for this one reason. You look at the view from this kitchen of the Atlantic Ocean. It's fantastic. You probably won't hear an argument in this family about who has to wash the dishes. On our next program, we'll be showing you how we renovate the South Master Bath here at Harlow House. Also, we'll take a look at the history of bathrooms and show you some interesting examples from classic homes around the country. For today's Classic Homes, I'm Mitchell McDaniel. We'll see you next time.
Funding for today's classic homes has been made possible by the following corporations.
This program is made possible by Pella, makers of classic windows and patio doors, bringing you style and innovation since 1925.
And by your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. With paint, stain, wallpaper, and decorating ideas, Sherwin-Williams can help you create all the looks you've imagined.
And by DuPont Corian, used in commercial and residential applications worldwide, including new applications like furniture, lighting, and architectural details. Corian, looking beyond the surface for ways to express your design and performance needs.
Made possible by Hartco Quality Wood Flooring Company, makers of Pattern Plus 5000 and other sliced cut hardwood flooring products.
To order a copy of this program, please call 1-800-256-4408 or send $19.95 plus $4 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Please specify episode number 206 when ordering.
This is PBS.